Are you thinking about getting into the real estate business but not too sure if you should become a wholesaler or a real estate agent? Well, in this episode, I'm going to break down what a wholesaler is versus a real estate agent. How much money do they actually make? Liabilities and the pros and cons. So stay tuned. Wholesalers versus real estate agent. By now, you're kind of teeter-tottering back and forth which one is the better of the two. But before we get into the pros and cons, we need to identify what is a wholesaler and what is a real estate agent, what their job titles are, right? And what is it exactly that they do? So basically a wholesaler is a guy or girl that goes out and finds motivated sellers. Typically these are dilapidated properties where you can't really fix up just due to the fact that that seller may not have any money. Then what they'll do is they'll tie it under contract for about 7 to 30 days, and they will find a back-end buyer, which is typically a rehabber or investor that's going to come in and rehab the home for a profit. But between what they bought the property for at that time under contract and they end up selling it to an investor, that's how they make their spread, okay? Now, when it comes to a real estate agent, with a real estate agent, they go out, they get their license through the real estate division. Now that they are licensed within their state, that allows them to find sellers and also buyers, where they'll help out the sellers and they'll help buyers find homes. Now, the next thing that we want to get into is who makes the most money, because this is the fun part, right? Because now you are considering, if I want to become a wholesaler versus a real estate agent, who really makes more money? So, like I said, when it comes to wholesalers, they are pretty much the middleman between seller, the motivated seller, and also the investor. So this is how it works. I'm going to give you an example here. So you have a seller that needs to sell the property, okay? He's motivated. He has to sell within 7 days. So the wholesaler goes out and markets and finds this seller right here. Now let's pretend the home is worth $100,000, and this is after repairs, where the home is ready to go. You put it on the market, it's going to sell quickly, okay? So the seller that needs to sell, that's motivated, they can't really list it with an agent, and the reason why is because if they list it with an agent, the chances of that agent selling the home, because based upon the condition of that home, it's going to be very hard to find conventional FHA and VA buyers because of the appraisal conditions. You would have to find a cash buyer. So typically, a wholesaler will go out, meet up with the seller, they have a conversation with the seller, and they realize that the home is really only worth $55,000, okay, based upon its condition. So how this works is, if the home is worth $55,000, the wholesaler already knows in order for the home to get rehabbed, it's going to cost the investor $15,000, and this is the investor, okay? $15,000. So now we have a total of $70,000. Now you got to keep in mind, it costs us $15,000 to do the rehab for the investor, but the investor, depending on the investor, may want to make $10,000. So if the investor wants to make $10,000, we have to add another 10. That's $80,000. Okay. Now that we have $80,000, there's still a spread, $80,000 to $100,000. A wholesaler could literally make $20,000 on this deal. That's right, $20,000 if he finds the right deal. Now, we're going to do the same scenario if seller has a home that's worth $100,000. Same scenario. Typically, an agent will go out, get the listing, and they will take it at 3%. Now, Commissions at 3%, that's not set in stone. It's all negotiable. But this is kind of based upon what's going on right now in customary practices. 3%. So 3% of 100,000, right, is only $3,000. So if we sold the home for 100,000, we would only make $3,000. Now let's go back to this scenario where the wholesaler ends up buying the home for $55,000 because they know when they sell it to another investor, they need to keep the 15 grand plus the 10 grand. That gives you a total of $80,000. But now, let's just say if we could sell the home for $55,000, okay, because of the condition of the home, and I'm getting it at the same price of that wholesaler, 3% of this is not that much. What's the math on that? Let's do the math real quick. It's about like $1,550 or $1,600. So we're gonna do 55,000 times 3%. Oh, I'm sorry, math is wrong. Basically, my commission would be $1,930 as a real estate agent. Do you see what I'm saying? So, in this scenario, it would be better to be a wholesaler. So the wholesaler on this deal is the winner all day long. Okay? So the next thing that we need to do is identify how business is generated, right? Because if you look at the two, it's pretty much almost the same. So as a wholesaler, typically wholesalers, what they're going to do is find their niche. If they are looking for apartment complexes, duplexes, triplexes, whatever it is, they will blanket a target area of a city with mailers, campaign. They're looking for that motivated seller. A real estate agent would do the exact same thing. The business operation is pretty much identical. The only benefit between the two is that when it comes to a real estate agent, the real estate agent has buyers. The wholesaler only has sellers, typically not really buyers, right? And what I mean by that is they have buyers as far as investors, but if we compare the two, longevity with generating leads for businesses, the real estate agent wins in this one. Okay? Alright, so let's get into the pros and cons between wholesaler and real estate agents. We're going to start off with the pros for the real estate agent. So, like I mentioned before, that when it comes to business, the agent has a lot more opportunity than a wholesaler. And what I mean by that is, as you become a real estate agent, what happens is you have the opportunity to market towards sellers. You also have the opportunity to market towards buyers. So that just gives you more cash flow into your pocket. You just have more business opportunity. Now, what's great about this is once you close on a deal with the seller, that seller may have other properties that they may want to sell. They may have friends and family that's looking to buy or looking to sell. So it's a constant flow of business. Now on the buying side, when an agent sells a home to a buyer, the average buyer will live in that home from 7 to 10 years, especially if it's a first-time home buyer. They may plan on selling and also buying another home. So the good news is that when you're an agent, you're always building business for life. You will always have business coming in. But when you first start off, it's going to be a little bit tough. But as the years go along, you're going to build your Rolodex of clients. And these are the clients that are going to come back. So that's what I like about being an agent. You get sellers and buyers, right? For life. Love that. Okay. Now the other thing is, as an agent, you have access to the MLS. The MLS stands for the Multiple Listing Service. Now, once an agent becomes a licensed real estate agent within their state, a lot of agents typically will become a member of the National Association of Realtors, which is regulated at a local level. So let me give you an idea. I'm a licensed real estate agent here in Las Vegas. I'm also a member of the National Association of Realtors, and I'm also a member of the GLVAR, which is the Greater Las Vegas Association of Realtors, at a local level. This gives me access to our website, which is the MLS, the Multiple Listing Service. So all the properties will be uploaded through this system, about 98% of the properties, because it is required that every single agent that is a member of the National Association of Realtors to input their listing into the system. What's great about this is that we have everything at our fingertips as far as for data. So if you were looking to invest or find great deals, this is where it will be. Now, unfortunately, as a wholesaler, you do not have that opportunity here, okay? Now, however, I'm going to get into the pros with the wholesaler and the benefits. But now I want to go back to with the referrals for life. And this is the most important thing right here. So now let's get into the pros of the wholesaler. What is the benefit of being a wholesaler? Well, I tell you what, we had that story about commissions, right? You definitely get higher commissions as a wholesaler. You can set that up any way you choose. Like I said, remember, a real estate agent is typically 3%. The average person has in their mind already when they're selling the home, it's only 3%. Versus a wholesaler, you can literally make $20,000 on just that one deal, where the home is only worth $100,000. Another benefit for a wholesaler is the fees, right? Fees associated as a wholesaler, there's really no fees, just your standard fees of running a business. As a real estate agent, you have all these type of membership fees, you have all these courses that you have to take every single year, you have to be caught up with laws, there's so many rules and regulations and restrictions. As a real estate agent, there's so many fees. So here, as a wholesaler, you have low fees. Very low. So that's the benefit here. Now the next thing is that with a wholesalers, they make their money on the conditions of the home. The worse the condition of the home is, at that point, that's their niche, that's their market. They can literally still sell the home. So, as a real estate agent, right, all agents will not take any condition of a home. Let me give you an example. If the home needs work and it's only worth $50,000, that agent may not do the work, knowing that the home will not appraise due to appraisal guidelines. So they may look at the situation and say, hey, look, I'm only going to make $1,500 on this deal. Is it really worth the time and the effort? Probably not, unless you are a new agent. And that goes back to, on those type of deals, you can literally make $20,000 as a wholesaler. Now, with a wholesaler, you can literally scale your business. That's right. You can scale your business, okay, throughout all the states. Reason why I'm saying this is important is because majority of the time, as a real estate agent, once you have your niche, you've already have a foothold within your local area. Agents will not go out and get a license in a different state if they're only conducting 1 or 2 transactions. It's just not worth the fees. As a wholesaler, right, you have access to all 50 states. Here's why. Once you have established your business here, the process is pretty much the same, where you're sending out mailers, you're making calls, you have a system in place. You do not need to be in that state, or you're not required to be licensed. Now you are just pushing paper. And it's all about scaling, right? That's the reason why I like this as a wholesaler, because you can scale your business quicker and faster. Now guys, let me know in the comments below, would you rather be a wholesaler or a real estate agent? Now if you guys haven't had a chance to subscribe to this channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Also give us a thumbs up and hit the notification button. But most importantly, I want you guys to let us know in the comments below if you guys like more content like this. Other than that, I'm Chakits Krulsawat. Be blessed. Peace.